Hello everyone and welcome back to the Spearhead cast. With me, Matt. Everyone, we want for you all here on Bayeux, I believe the map is called. I'm gonna be changing up my recording settings here to see if I can improve the quality. So this is very much an experiment, which is why I picked the 1v1 on a very small map. Let's go through the players. We have Roberta's going straight out the gate with Royal Parachute Regiment. I think we saw them in one of the last matches too, with the same thing. Meanwhile, we have Eugen going straight for SS Panzerdivision and going for the Hitler Youth. Straight out the gate, so we're gonna have a lot of Hitler Youth infantry on the field. Very fanatical, indoctrinated young Germans who has essentially been brainwashed by the Nazi party. I wonder if the quality will be better now with my changed here. I want to see if I can make the videos as HD as possible, but it might become too large. I suppose we'll find out. That is kind of what this test is for. I just want to improve the experience for anyone watching, because I noticed that my Company of Heroes 3 pre-alpha videos were not the highest quality I want them to be. So if I can make this work for Company of Heroes 2 first of all, let's see if I can expand upon it. Anyway, enough about that. Let's focus on the battle. Looks like the Royal Parachute troops have already been engaging with the Storm Pioneers here. Very quick shots, and the Royal Parachute troops are just really damn good. Able to suppress out of the gate thanks to the mad minutes, so really damn impressive troops. But we already have the Hitler Youth on the flank here. The Hitler Youth are a cheaper infantry unit you have access to if you're playing as SS Panzer. They can come out the gate immediately, and they can help a lot. If you don't want to rely entirely on Sturm Grenadiers, which are too expensive, perhaps, you can get a few more units out with the Hitler Youth. They'll still do competently well. Hitler Youth are not bad infantry in all technicality. They get a unique buff where they are 5% more accurate, but they're also 5% easier to hit, because they take a lot more risks because they're that fanatical and zealous. Let's understand it. Oh, excuse me, that wasn't meant to happen. I just closed down the game briefly with an alt tab. My bad, I was checking if I was recording. That's a little bit annoying thing with Common Heroes 2 that I have to do that all the time. Now we have some actual Storm Grenadiers on the field. And the first is a Liebstandarte. We also have the 12ers here, which are the Hitler Youth, as I mentioned. They were apparently notoriously sadistic. Probably because they were so indoctrinated in Nazi ideology. They really did a lot of bad stuff. We'll see how this goes. One of my key things I've done is I've changed my recording setting encoder from software to hardware. And I think with my hardware being a really high-end graphics card at the moment, it might be enough to work. I'm not sure. I'm just going to try and make it as good as possible is all. But those paratroopers are going to be hard to get rid of for the Germans. The cool wagon is on the field and will help. There's also the Jeep here for the Royal Parachutists. I ran with the Vickers Go on top. Really damn powerful little Jeep. And suppress really fast. The Vickers Go, or Vickers K, I believe, has the same rate of fire as the MG42, so pretty damn fast, as you can see. Enough to make the enemy jump for the ground quickly. But here the Youth are securing some territory here. Jeep is moving up. That might be a risky maneuver. Maybe if they lose their gunner, they will be in trouble. Ooh, that well is not having a good time, though. Gunner down. That might actually be the chance the Waffen-SS needs to push up. It is repairing, though, but he needs to rush it quick. And there's a little bit of fury and can repair and stealth while that. Oh, grenades going out, though. That might be enough. Definitely forcing it to drive away. And that's a little bit silly. I would personally think you should not be allowed to repair while under fire. At least the vehicles, because that means you can cheese a little bit like that. Basically, the full thing, you can also camouflage while doing it. Self-repair does. I'm fine if, like, a team is repairing it, in my own personal opinion. You also have a Vickers coming out here for the British, as well as another paratrooper squad. Hitler Youth heading northwards. Hitler Youth having a little bit of a long-range engagement with the Sherwood Rangers Sabres. Doing pretty decently. Sherwood Rangers is one of the unique regiments you get access to if you are using Royal Paratroopers. As Anvil, apparently. MG42 Kubelwagen is present. Better Kubelwagen you get if you're playing as Panzer. Don't get us moving out here. Have you equipped with MP40s as their unique upgrade if you're playing as Panzer. SS Panzer actually gets a lot of MP40 options, and we're seeing MP40s on the Hitler Youth. A pretty good choice of a weapon. Pretty decent, but at long range it will lose out to these Royal Paratroopers. We're being equipped with a captured MG34. Fascinating. Apparently the British paratroopers would actually like to use this one a lot. It was very frequently captured and very frequently used. Because the German MG series is a pretty good choice of weapons. That's a good thing for the Jeep there, but it has the Vickers nearby to support it. Germans do hold their own munitions and fuel points so far, so they are still able to keep up resource-wise. We also have an MG34 coming out here for Eugen. Oh, looks like the Jeep finally lost its driver and gunner thanks to the Storm Pioneers. But those paratroopers behind these Dragon's Teeth are actually holding up pretty well. Looks like everything is going good so far. But I think when that MG34 gets set up, the British paratroopers are going to have to pull back. Yeah, they're pulling back with a charge though. Ulrich is still keeping an eye up here. Hitler Youth are preparing to move up, but I should probably heal up fully first. Paratroopers are running down here with the MG34 ready. First it says Storm Grenadiers and some more Hitler Youth coming up behind them. It's going to be a hard score to deal with, but they are out in the open at the moment. We need to utilize cover to get close to them. We need to start just encircling them. But they are fanning out though, but there is the Vickers nearby to cover the flank. Looks like the Germans are doing a good job though with their support here. Yeah, that paratrooper squad out in the open is just taking losses. You have a captain being airdropped in here. The British are securing that point too. So the British are taking the upper hand on this flank. Vickers has to pull back. Sure, the serve would range is one-start fight. They might win thanks to the Hitler Youth being weakened, but that's a grenade. And MP4 is opening up. They did more than not need to get out of there though. The Vickers is opening fire. Pack 38 coming out, I think. Yeah, a cheaper pack available to you if you're playing as SS Panzer. The only handy is to have a cheap AT gun, because the Pack 38 has a very unique feature. It was one of the few AT guns that could actually penetrate sloped armor, I believe. Reliably, so that's very unique about it. Just because the millimeter is smaller on the gun does not mean it's worse. It actually have higher penetration sometimes. There's a lot of different factors going into that, but I'm not an expert on the physics behind it. It's just a nice little, neat little thing to note. But the Pack 38 is not a bad AT gun at all. Especially if you're fighting, in real life at least, if you're fighting tanks with sloped armor. Then it's probably the AT gun you want to go for. Lots of MP40s being handed out. Actually, this is the MP40i, which you get access to if you're playing for the Storm Pioneers as Panzer. Then see it's an experimental MP40 with double magazine stuck to it. It's actually suppressed. We actually have double MP40s on the squad. But they are being suppressed here. That's allowing the Hitler Youth to get close, and they're going to be able to throw a grenade. They went for the officer. Killing him! Now that's a bad thing for the British, but the Kulbagen and the Hitler Youth did go down. Ah, but it looks like the Storm Pioneers might not get out of there. And those paratroopers are really damn lethal. They're trying to target them down. Looks like they will get out of there. Explosive going out. Ah, hit the stuff in the way. Do have another captain airdropping in. One hit the tree and died. You want to be cautious with your airdrops sometimes. You know, the Storm Grenadiers still holding down here with the Kar-98s. The Germans have lost a little bit of territory, especially their fuel. That's a very important one. Honestly, that MG34 and the paratroop is just so good. Very accurate with that thing. Hitler Youth are probably preparing to march shortly again. Just to be very cautious. That is a very good position, but they are standing on the wrong side of the cover there. Cover is directional. Always remember that. I don't think the MG34 suppresses though. Yeah, for some reason it does not suppress, which is a little bit weird. They can suppress with the Mad Minute though, which they don't have access to at the moment. Down in the open, the Storm Pine is gonna get mowed down. They generally don't want to rush through open terrain against the paratroopers like that. Especially if they have a machine gun. Command Half Track coming in here. Unique commander available to you if you're playing as Panzer Division. Armored Half Track with 2 machine guns on it. And 2 MD-42s on it. It's not, should not be underestimated. Not at any point. Yep, and it's going to start opening fire. So the paratroopers will not be able to do much at the distance here. And over time, that MD-42 will just slowly kill them. Smoke grenade going out to obscure. That's going to buy themselves some time. And with that, they're going to pull back. Nice to see. That's actually an airborne camp set up here. That's smart. That can actually reinforce up there. Oh, they can actually see a demo charge set up by the Panther terminal. That's a cool little detail. Imagine if you're having a big explosion up here outside the map, or near the map, it'll explode that whole thing. That's a cool little detail. Some people have some interesting map ideas. Storm Grenadiers and Hitler Youth moving northwards. Hitler Youth being equipped with the MG-34. That's generally going to make them very good at holding a position. They can actually be equipped for all kinds of duties, including flamethrowers. You can really specialize the Hitler Youth for anything you might need. They are really just an alternative to your first SS. You can probably still take the point easy if they want. Yep, Hitler Youth are going to move in to take it. Artillery being called in though. So it's going to be 3-inch target. But this one doesn't have a warning smoke. But they do hear it. Hitler Youth needs to get out of there. Grenade going out. Oh, that did not look good for the paratroopers. Almost killed there by the Hitler Youth for the MG. Meanwhile, the British are securing this up on flank. Glider coming in. Now, where the British going to land is the question. As the base MG is actually able to shoot it because this is a very small map. Oh, Hitler Youth coming out. Oh my god, it's landing there? That is a very risky maneuver. They did get the Panzerfaust off. But that is a very costly thing to do. Yeah, I'm not sure I approve of that action. Very risky and very dangerous. They did make a distraction down there. You also have a Panzer IV command tank coming out here now for the Germans. Another unique commander able to use Panzer. I think all your command units could actually be in tanks or vehicles if you're playing as Panzer. Kinda makes sense, I guess. You don't actually have a lot of AT equipment on the British at the moment. And that botched glider landing was... Oh, he's recruiting a Bren carrier from it. Okay. There's the pack, though. Yep, destroying it. So that was kind of a waste of a buy, I think. And it is not here to stop the Panzer. They do have a captured Panzerfaust on the paratroopers. So if they can get close enough to it... There is infantry coming up behind, though. They will be able to get in the flank. Hitting in the rear, but that's not going to do enough.
Damned enemies trying to take a point from us.
Yeah, so now the British is just going to have to get out of there. I think that flank is kind of going to fall here to the Germans again. The British is just lacking AT equipment. The Germans also only have the repair truck there. Artillery being called in by the officer, who survived the half-track crash. Well, half-track destruction, rather. More paratroopers moving up. They are going to try and get close enough for another Panzerfaust. And I think the glider is about to go out. And it's still holding on. Not sure that's a good position for the captain. He's taking way too many hits.
has fallen in battle.
Yeah, it's not looking good for the British here. Looks like Eugen is doing a very good job here at fighting back against the paratroopers. Another Mad Minute being activated. Raid going out on the Hitler Youth. Looks like they dodged it. Officer has been pinned though. But he's been enough for the strikes for the Hitler Youth to get their shots off. There's just one British paratrooper left and he got shot. They need to get that F1 repaired. MD-34 is ready. Another paratrooper squad being called in. Storm Gun is heading northwards for the fuel immediately now. They have the chance to. Airdrop coming in. Looks like it's another captain calling in.
There's an officer awaiting orders.
They need to get an F1 repaired. We can just drive it back to the base and get it repaired in very, very quick actually. This repair team on this building is generally really good at their job. Machine gewehr moving up. All paratroopers are waiting here, waiting for an ambush to spring. MG is established here. But a very wide arc of fire here. Good position in all honesty. I think the Germans actually got a position here they can make a good comeback from and win. They already did a lot of damage to the paratroopers, and it's very hard for paratroopers to recover from losses. That's kind of the drawback you get for playing such an elite doctrine, basically. Sherwood Rangers doing their best here. Officer here is also getting some good shots in. Their cover's gone, now they're going to be easy to kill. Apparently you can interrogate with the Panzer units, I did not know that. If you find a wounded enemy soldier on the ground, you can actually interrogate them, which gives you more line of sight, because they will kind of force them to tell them everything they can about what's around the area. Interesting little mechanics there. Looks like there's a blind spot here, the MG cannot shoot. This foliage is in the way. There is these Hitler Youth back here though. MG-34 can shoot here though. MG-34 should open fire though. It is opening fire, I think. There we go. Firefly coming in, artillery being called in by the captain. The fact that this one has no warning smoke, pretty handy. It does say it's good for surprising the enemy. But that's actually a good utilization of it. More Sturm Grenadiers being called in alongside some more Hitler Youth. Sturm Grenadiers probably should go back to the medic building so they can just get a little bit healed up. Also being equipped with an LMG-42. They activate 24, so that's a pretty potent squad. Lots of machine guns going out, which is not a bad thing. Germans used a lot of machine guns. Kind of the cornerstone of their infantry tactics. The machine gun was everything and everyone. Whatever that is supposed to mean. Probably botched that quote. Let's see, looks like the Sturm Grenadiers lost a guy already quickly to the paratroopers, as they're wounded trying to get into some better cover. An MG-42 is being equipped here. And there we go. That should give them the upper hand, really, if they just stay. Depends on how fast it suppresses. Because that's time to take losses. I'd have to reload it. That's the problem with the LMG-42 sometimes. It only has 50 bullets, but they were winning that engagement, actually. Sabers, I don't think are going to win that fight. Unless the Hitler Youth do pull back. They do need to pull back, I guess. So we actually have triple Sturm Grenadier. That's a lot of expensive infantry on the field, but it will give him a very good field presence. Another glider coming in. Very aggressive glider play. Firefly is also coming onto the field. There it is. Probably not the best choice against infantry. It'll do. Glider landing right here in the fields. Right in front of more of the German infantry. Incendiary grenade that. Oh, the perfect weapon. Looks like the glide operations are not really faring that well. Now the Hitler Youth don't have any Panzerfausts. They actually have to get up too close to a tank with an AT mine to plant on the tank. Whereas the Sturm Grenadiers can't be upgraded with Panzerfausts. Now the Germans do a full take up here, so they can start to get tanks. Panzer F1 pulling back for repairs finally. That's a big blob of Waffen-SS troops. Probably should not have been blobbed up so well. That is a very succulent target for a high explosive shot. Another brain carrier here with double machine guns. Interesting. Looks like it's even manned by airborne troops. Pushing up on the squad here. They're going to be able to keep all these Germans at bay easily on this little narrow area. Oh, no, the Sturm Grenadiers got close enough here and started opening fire. Sometimes one Sturmgewehr from the squad leader is all it takes. Looks like the British have made a comeback here suddenly. Another pack coming out. So this time it's a pack 40. A little bit higher caliber. Oh, Vic is position opening fire here. I think the pack will get a shot off. Oh, it missed! It is a very small target. Well, that's driving real close. Very cheeky, but there is the F1 around the corner. That's the brain carrier gone.
One of our universal carriers has been destroyed.
Firefly's moving in for a kill though. It knows where the Panzer F1 is. Bit of an airdrop coming in as well. That might be an AT gun and a Vickers machine gun.
Ready for further orders.
Yeah, little drop there. Oh, it's a mortar and a pack howitzer. That's a pretty good combination. A little bit of an artillery drop. High express wing on the Vickers. Not gonna get it off. Nope. I shot way too much. The Germans are losing a lot of terrain here still.
An infantry section of Tommies has been trained.
They don't have the fuel for more and better vehicles, it looks like. That's going to be their downfall, I think. They need some better infantry out there, or some more vehicles, rather. It's not a pack house that's soon going to start opening fire in the base.
Ready for orders. Bit close, that one.
They're going to start firing now, I think. Yep, here goes. The pack house is pretty damn powerful if it can hit its targets. Big German push here, though. Sturm Grenadiers are spreading out, but they are being flanked there by the paratroopers. There's too much fire here going into the German position now. I think the Sturm Grenadiers are going to have a hard time moving. This officer is also getting flanked pretty hard by the machine guns. Will he be able to get shot off? He is in light cover here with the bushes, which is helping him stay alive for a bit. He's calling it artillery. He managed to get it off, but he's probably gonna die there. Triple Hitler Youth coming out to replace the losses. Officer is down. Here comes the highly veteran Sturm Grenadiers. Okay, they suppress each other, which means I think the Sturm Grenadiers actually have the advantage at that point. Pack out's opening fire, close range. And more of the Hitler Youth is coming onto the field here. Several pack howitzers are being recruited from the glider. I actually see them holding the shell ready to put the next one in. That's cool. Didn't know they did that. I don't think the Mthis can get out of this one. This is a very hard position to get out of. Especially when the airborne start bombing your base with howitzers. It's gonna hit the northern path where there's no howitzers yet. Just one very veteran squad, but that is a lot of fire coming their way. You don't want to stay there. Second squad nearby. Getting some good flanking shots there. That's gonna be the death of that Storm Grenadier. They managed to get the grenade off. Paratroops are suppressing all the German infantry thanks to Mad Minutes. It looks like they got this situation handled. Double machine gun on these paratroopers is just too much.
Move yourself! Someone doesn't like us at all.
Somebody's shooting at us!
I think perhaps investing in a few more light vehicles early would probably have helped. Have some half tracks. It's very hard to make a comeback now. Oof. Yeah, those shells are landing pretty hard. Ooh, and that's probably a dead Hitler Youth, yep.
We've lost a squad of infantry.
Oh, the pack house is just hitting the base more and more. We are seeing a Panzer 4GA coming out now for the Waffen-SS, which could help, but they do have that Firefly on the ground as well.
At your
But a Firefly can only be on one flank at a time.
standing by.
Really to see how all you can use is it.
Hands up here deployed.
Here it is.
Waiting orders.
Receiving effect.
And that's a lot of pack houses just bombing the German base.
Valiant assault is now at hand. The troops are
Here's the
waiting for
captain.
command.
He's preparing to call in some artillery. And the paratroopers are just holding this flank immensely. We are seeing a Deutschen über alles called, which I think means they cannot be suppressed. They are easier to hit though because they're being very careless.
We lost a gun crew.
Firefly on our side under the German base here.
Combat unit ready.
We have some Panzer Grenadiers now arriving for the first SS. Another squadron available if you're playing as SS Panzer. Panzer VJ moving out.
Contact! Unknown force!
Looks like the F1 and the J is going to work in conjunction to try and take out the Firefly.
For action.
Bang a heat shell. F1 is going in for the kill. Yeah, Firefly's down. That's perhaps the opening that Waffen-SS needed. There's not enough AT here. But I think these houses can use heat shells. That's exactly what's going on. F1 down. And J down.
Armor has been lost.
I think this might be the end. Yep, Eugen surrenders. And that was a pretty decent match with a lot of action. With 2 glider landings. I hope you all enjoyed. Bye bye.